looked like an explosion coming from some sort of city infrastructure, a gas line or a generator, something along those lines? Or did it look like something obviously much more serious, much more sinister, some sort of foul play?
My first instinct was maybe it was some sort of a steam pipeline or something, and it was like manholes exploding because it looked like it was coming from the sidewalk itself as opposed to anything on top of it. But again, I didn't have a great look at it. That's just my first gut instinct on what it was. I did hear some people say, watch out for the trash cans. They heard it was the trash cans. But again, that's just maybe sort of mob mentality, just trying to figure out what the heck it is. So I'm not sure. I didn't see fire. I only saw smoke. And even on the explosion that was right across the street from me, I never saw anything that looked like fire of an explosion. It looked like more smoke just exploding up.
How close were these explosions, and we think there were at least two, to the actual finish line?
That I don't know. I would say about a mile or so.
So it wasn't at the finish line. It was at least a mile or so away, which could be indicative of what you are near the finish line. How close were you to the explosion?
I was about 20 yards from the second explosion, probably about 100 yards from the first explosion. And my Boston geography isn't as good as it should be, so I'm not entirely sure about the mile off the finish line or closer or further.
And as far as injuries are concerned, you saw, what, at least a half a dozen people injured?
Well, I'll tell you, the first thing I saw when the second explosion went off, and after we sort of got out of the way of that and tried to figure out where to go next, I did see what looked like about 6 or 7 people, maybe even more, piled around where that explosion was. And then I will say, separate of that, after we were able to get a good angle on the scene later, where I couldn't see the exact explosion point, but then I could see about 6 or 7 people. I don't know if they're the same people or different people, but they were being treated on stretchers by EMTs.
And I